Welcome back to Romantasy Chaos HQ, the pod. We are Avery and Xavier Harleston, healthcare professionals by day, romantasy theorists, and aspiring authors by night. Today, we are covering the epigraph from Fourth Wing, Chapter 10. This is your warning. There will be spoilers for the entire Empyrean series. If you have not read all three books, it may be time to turn back. We are not rated E for everyone. Xavier has a degree in cussing, and he is not afraid to use it. We also discuss any and all adult topics covered in these books. We like a challenge, so we tackle each epigraph without prepping, placing it into the context of the overall series, not just the book or chapter it's tied to. But you don't have to take it cold, so here's our one-sentence summary of the chapter. Violet and her squad have their first encounter with the Gauntlet, losing a squad mate in the process. But Violet's trip to the burn pit to appease Malik leads to some alone time with Satan, who tells Violence that the right way isn't the only one. There are 6 minutes on the clock and Fourth Wing lore that's more complex than the Gauntlet itself. So don't blink, don't scroll, don't let Taryn distract you. We have 360 seconds to blow your mind.
And go.
Don't underestimate the challenge of the Gauntlet, Mira. It's designed to test your balance, strength, and ability. The times don't matter for shit, only that you make it to the top. Reach for the ropes when you have to. Coming in last is better than coming in dead. Page 46, The Book of Brennan.
Wow. So page 46 of the Book of Brennan, and just carrying on from the last time. If I thought it would sell, I would call it the Book of Xavier. But
He wasn't trying to sell it. He literally was writing it. Okay, I will say in all fairness, if I was Brennan and I was writing a book for Mira, yes, I would probably be a little bit of an obnoxious older brother and make it like, haha, I'm your big brother. I know things,
but also it's
But
like super contraband, and he just named it after himself. So there's like no denying. It's like, hey, Mira, do this. Like
not only did he name it after himself, he then puts Mira's name in it. Like, if
Anyway, but page 46, back to your previous point, what's in the first 45 pages? Like, we're only to the Gauntlet, and he had 45 pages of advice to get to the Gauntlet?
right? Like, what does he? And when did he give it to her? Because this is interesting. Mira gives it to Violet when it's under her pillow, right? When she makes it through conscription day and she gets into her sleeping quarters, it's under her pillow. So she really has it pretty much from the beginning of her time, but she does not have it before she crosses the parapet. So if she had never crossed the parapet, she would never see it. But when do you think Mira got it?
I think she probably copied Brennan, so she got it at the same time.
Do you
After she
think
grew up.
Brennan gave her advice before she crossed the parapet? The parapet?
I suspect. And, I wonder if there's like a little pamphlet of Lilith that Brennan got.
I wonder, before Brennan died, did Lilith give him advice when she was in more of her motherly, maybe a little warmer towards her children than she currently is? And especially with Brennan being her favorite, being the child that, Violet says that Lilith respects Mira, but she loved Brennan. So maybe they had a much closer relationship. Do you think Lilith gave Brennan advice before he crossed the parapet? Or
I mean, I really think she did. And coming back to the epigraph, the biggest thing to me in this epigraph is that he says the times don't matter, only getting to the top does, because dragons don't give two shits what the writers think of who they're going to bond. And the gauntlet is not really proving anything to the dragons. I mean, maybe it's proving and improving some skills to stay on a dragon. Maybe I can convince myself it has some purpose, but dying on it doesn't make any sense. Like you said, grab the ropes and survive, because you don't know what's going to impress a dragon.
well, and it's not really about even like being able to ride a dragon. How many people make it up the gauntlet? They go through presentation, they get to threshing, they bond, and then they fall off their freaking dragon the first time they take off. Like that happened to a couple different people on Violet's threshing day. There's that other cadet that makes it all the way back to the flight field and then like breaks their leg dismounting their dragon. Like the gauntlet is really, I mean, it's really about the human to human respect, I think, more than it is about dragons and and them respecting you. Now, if you can't make it up the gauntlet, you can't bond. So I guess we really don't know. Dragons don't really have any exposure to people who don't make it up the gauntlet other than, when they come in at conscription day and they're sitting on the fortress and scaring all of the new cadets. That's really their only exposure to cadets that have not made it up the gauntlet. They have.
Well, and he, his grab the ropes if you need to. Again, this to me, the only way it makes sense is fear, right? What is one of the top fears for humans is height. So why would you make them climb this difficult thing to elicit fear? And not grabbing the ropes and making a bad decision and falling to your death, is a fear response, because if you were able to conquer your fear, you definitely would grab a rope before you died.
If you are able to think logically in a moment of heightened emotion, that's value. I mean, we're healthcare professionals. You train for code blues over and over and over and over and over so that when it's happening and the person who is coding, the person whose life is in your hands, you are able to set aside the emotion and think logically and make good decisions and hopefully save that person's life. Um, and that is a skill that can be taught. It can be learned. I don't know that if that's what we're trying to do here, or this is the best way to teach that skill. But I think there's value in that skill. And I think if they spent more energy teaching that skill, rather than saying, prove your physical ability on this gauntlet, really focusing on, I'm going to teach you how to, in that moment, not be overcome by your fear. Not be, I mean, it's a very
Well,
scary thing when
you
you're
the
trying going to code
the
someone.
more we talk about this, the mat and the gauntlet make a lot more sense if you were training people to deal with their fear as opposed to prove their prowess. And I really feel like if it changed at some point, like if this has always been the way that they did it, did they used to teach differently? Because this makes so much sense to be like, all right, oh, and we're out of time.
All right, that's it from us. Did we blow your mind? Let us know in the comments. And remember, we love you. Stay out of the clouds, off the ice, and come back to us. We'll see you next time.
See you next time.